We begin with some breaking news. Israel's military says it has carried out an airstrike targeting the leadership of Hamas. Though the IDF didn't specify where the strikes took place, the announcement came as explosions were heard in Qatar's capital, Doha. This is where Hamas's exiled leadership is based. Media in Qatar reported explosions in Doha and black smoke rising into the air. It's not yet clear if anyone has been killed or injured. Qatar has condemned the incident as a cowardly Israeli attack. The AP and Reuters news agencies have quoted unnamed Israeli officials and Israeli army radio saying Israel did target Hamas leaders in Doha, though there's been no official confirmation from Israel as yet. So let's go straight to Shani Rozanes, DW's Middle East correspondent. Let's start with the latest, Shani, if we could. What more can you tell us?
Well, we have some sort of a confirmation from an Israeli official, from Bezalel Smotrich, who's a minister in the cabinet. He just tweeted a few minutes ago saying Israel will not let terrorists get away with their crimes no matter where they are around the world, saying this was a perfect execution of a decision made by Israeli leadership. So basically very much hinting and confirming the attack that we are, that is referred to Israel in Doha, the Qatari capital. What we know is that that specific room where that was attacked in a very, accurate way of attack, similar to what we've seen in last summer when Israel was targeting Hamas leader Haniya in Tehran. Similar modus of operation today in Qatar, but this time in this room were all the A-listers of Hamas, all the top leaders of the organizations, those still remaining, who have been, harboring, living in Qatar for many years, especially, hoping for feeling protected under Qatari, umbrella, while of course, there was no possibility for them to go anywhere close to the Palestinian territories or, Gaza or the West Bank. So this is what we know. There's an half-official Israeli confirmation for this attack. We have been hearing hints in the Israeli media in the last days about the fact that Israel, will not let any Qatar leaders get away with anything anywhere. So, but speculations were, what does it mean? Will they go to Turkey? That would be very problematic with the, considering the relations with Erdogan. Of course, Qatar is also not an ideal destination, partially because of the distance and the logistics, but mostly because of the politics and the connection it has to the Americans. And still, we see Israel very emboldened going ahead with this attack this afternoon.
It's still the early stages of this story, clearly. Do we know yet about where the US stand on this, Shani? Qatar has been a strong ally. It's also where the US has an enormous army base, the biggest in the Middle East. Do we know what that reaction has been, if any?
Well, it's hard to believe Israel did it without American approval. Again, we're talking about logistically a very complicated operation that would need support, just like Israel needs supported when it was heading to Iran, when it was trying to attack the Yemenites and so on. So that's always there. But above all, this is about the politics. And we are hearing hints in the Israeli media that American officials were notified and were in the knowings of this attack being planned. If it's too early to say, we need to see official confirmation from Washington, but we have been hearing Trump saying in the last days, we need to put more pressure on Hamas. We need to remember October 7th, where it all started, basically buying for the Israeli narrative. And it could be that it also swayed him to go ahead and support Israeli plans to attack in Qatar today.
And with those words of Trump in mind and this incident, obviously, how is this going to affect negotiations for a ceasefire deal, do you think?
That's exactly the right question, Anthony. We don't really know, because those who were in this room, we don't know who was, affected in which way. But these are the people who make the decision in Hamas, at least in the political level of the leadership that is outside of the Gaza Strip. We don't know. They claim to have been discussing this very deal that Trump has put on the table yesterday to be sort of the final deal for the whole release of the living hostages in return to, a release of Palestinian detainees and prisoners. Now it's unclear who's left there to make a decision. It's not quite clear what kind of decision will be made, of course, because of this. It could be pushing, of course, Hamas even to just say completely no. But of course, Israel thinks it will bring them, what they say, to their knees, as they have been trying to do for 2 years, and get them to agree to complete surrender, capitulation. This is the goal that Israel is pursuing, and it's not hesitant, as we've seen today, to take any means that it would require.
DW's Middle East analyst Shani Rozanes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.